So 11.3 details what shifts aggregate supply, right? So just like with regular demand and supply, we have shifters of aggregate demand and aggregate supply. And so two of the most important factors that shift the aggregate supply curve are, the first one is productivity growth, and the second one is a change in your either input prices or input availability. So when I talk about availability, we're talking about unexpected shocks, right? So large weather events affecting crops, overseas war requiring a large number of people to fight instead of work, those kind of things. It's kind of a random place to put this definition, but we got to put it here at some point. So if we have a situation where we are experiencing both a recession and high inflation, we get something called stagflation. So let's go ahead and do a shift. All right, so starting out here, we're going to say that the event that's happening is there's an increase in productivity. Increase in productivity is one of the shifters of supply, so that's going to have a positive impact on my supply curve. So I'm going to end up with a new short run supply curve over here. And so as a result of the increase in the productivity, what's going to happen to my price level? It's going to go down. And then what's going to happen to my economic activity? It's going to go up. A shift in productivity is going to have an influence not just on our short run aggregate supply curve, but it's also going to cause a slight shift in our long run aggregate supply curve. So essentially, if we were in a recessionary gap before, we're still going to be in a recessionary gap even if there's an increase in productivity, because the increase in productivity is also reflected in an equivalent shift to the right of our long run aggregate supply. Greater level of output and downward pressure on the price level, but no closing of a recessionary gap. So quick counterexample. I won't sketch it out with the same degree of care, just for time. So if we had something like there's an increase in the input cost, then that's going to result in a shift inwards of both my short run aggregate supply curve, causing me to have a new equilibrium, causing there to be higher prices and lower output, and also causing my long run aggregate supply curve actually does not cause my long run aggregate supply curve to change. So my input prices are localized to just the one impact, but my productivity happens on my short run and on my long run. So those are the two, that's the main distinction between our two aggregate supply shifters.